Hi, I'm John Hornick. Welcome to my Italian Faves series. This lesson is Braised Beef Short Ribs Ravioli a la Michel. For the ravioli filling, I used leftover meat from my Braised Beef Short Ribs lesson in my Michel Richard tribute series. To accompany the ravioli, I made a sauce by reducing the braising liquid, then adding butter and cream. It's full of flavor and decadently rich, especially when combined with the ravioli filled with beef short ribs. So let's start cooking. All right, now we're going to use these leftover braised short ribs a la Michel to make ravioli. So to do that, we're going to remove the meat from the bones, and then we're going to chop the meat so we can use it as stuffing for the ravioli. Now you have some liquid left in the pan here. Keep that, okay? Keep all the beef, keep all the liquid. All right, now we're going to remove the bones, which should pull out pretty easily. And then we're going to chop the meat. All right, now as we're removing the meat from the bones, if we come across any chunks of white fat, intramuscular fat, we're going to pull that out, throw it away. It has some over here too. In fact, this whole piece right here looks like fat, so we're going to try to get any meat off of it. If there is any, there is a little bit, and get rid of the rest, which is fat. Okay, I've removed all of the meat from the bones. I've pulled out the tough pieces of connecting tissue. I've tried to get as many chunks of the intramuscular fat as I could. And now what we're going to do is we're going to coarsely chop it. Now remember, this is going to become a filling for a ravioli. So we don't want it to be a paste, right? But we also don't want it to be too big in terms of chunks. We want the meat to be identifiable as short ribs, okay? So we're gonna chop it, I wouldn't say real coarsely, but not real finely either. We'll look at it after I'm finished. Okay, that looks pretty good. This is kind of like pulled pork or barbecued pork in terms of its consistency. You can see you still have little pieces, but it hasn't been chopped so much that it's into a paste, okay? And that's about what we want, like that, okay? Okay, I've transferred the chopped beef short ribs into a bowl, and now we're gonna take that liquid that was in the pan and pour it into this beef to moisten it, all right? There were some other thicker bits in the pan, like carrots and onions and stuff. I didn't chop those, so they are bigger than what I made with the beef here, so I'm not going to add those, okay? So you can get rid of this. Okay, now we're going to take this and we're going to put it into the fridge for at least an hour, maybe 2 hours. We want it to get firmed up, okay? Cover it to keep the moisture in, and then chill it. And then we'll use it to make the ravioli. All right, now we're going to strain the vegetables out of the braising liquid. And as you've probably seen in my other videos, I'm going to press the liquid through the strainer. And sometimes that works better with a rubber spatula, and sometimes it works better with a wooden spoon. So I'm going to use whichever one is necessary to get this through the strainer. There's going to be solids left, okay? You don't have to push all the solids through the strainer. And then we're going to rinse off the spatula or the spoon and get the sauce off the bottom of the strainer. We don't want to lose that good stuff, okay? Okay, I think that that's all the solids that are going to go through. Clean off the bottom. Okay, we have about 4 cups of liquid in this saucepan here. Now we're going to turn it on to medium heat, bring it just to a boil, and then we're going to moderate the heat so it's just gently bubbling. And we're going to reduce it by about half. So we'll be reducing it to about 2 cups. Okay, we have reduced this sauce by about half, so we now have about 2 cups. Okay, now let's make the sauce for our ravioli. I'm starting with 9 tablespoons of the reduced braising liquid, okay, from making the braised short ribs. Now, I'm going to add in 4.5 tablespoons of butter. Keep the heat low. We don't want the sauce to boil. And we're going to swirl that butter in there so it's all melted in and incorporated. Okay, all of the butter has been incorporated. Now we're going to add some cream, right? Add in 1.5 tablespoons of cream. Oops, too much. There we go. Mix it in. Now we're going to add a little salt. Stir it up. And taste it. Good, excellent. You can just barely taste the salt coming through. That is the sauce for our ravioli. This will be enough for 4 people. So here's the pasta that I made about an hour ago, and it's been resting in this damp cloth for about an hour, actually. Now, it's sticky because it's been wrapped in the damp cloth. So what we want to do is coat it with a little bit of flour. Now, making the pasta was from lesson 55, which was my pasta master recipe. And there's also a master recipe on making ravioli. We're making ravioli tonight the same way you would make it in the master recipe, okay? And we want to put some flour out on our counter. Get our wet towel out of the way. Put some flour out on the counter, and we want to start rolling the pasta through the pasta machine. Starting with number 1, you want to get the pasta to be thin enough so it can go through the rollers, which is about 1/4 of an inch thick, and then just roll it through on number 1 setting. Okay, then change to the number 2 setting. Roll it through again. Change to the number 3 setting. Roll it through again. Now, at this point, the pasta is starting to get to an unwieldy length, so I usually cut it in half with a knife or a pastry knife. Then we're going to change to setting number 4 and roll it through again. We want to keep it dusted with flour on the counter here. If you start to get to the point where you don't have any flour on the counter, put some more flour on the counter. And that's number 4. Now we're going to change it to setting number 5. Now, after setting number 5, pasta makers differ. Actually, they differ anyway, because this one goes up to number 9, for example, and my other pasta maker only goes up to number 7, which means that on the one that goes up to 9, all of the settings make it thinner than the one than on the pasta maker that goes up to 7. Now, so you're going to have to kind of judge depending on your pasta maker. If you think this is getting too thin to be able to make ravioli out of, you think it's going to split too easily when you start to fill it, well, then stop rolling it. I use that word STOP, which causes the camera to turn off. So if you think the pasta is going to get too thin, cease rolling it and stop at whatever number you think is the highest number you can go to. I am stopping at number 7. And you can see that I have pretty long sheets of pasta here. I may actually have more pasta than I have filling. All right, now, there we go, put out the sheets. Now, I happen to be at 7,000 feet in very low humidity, so this pasta may dry very quickly. I may have to moisten it again a little bit later. Now we're going to take the filling and we're going to start to place the filling on the pasta. How much? It depends upon the size of your pasta cutter, okay? Now I'm using a pasta cutter that's about this big. It's about 3 inches across. So we can put a mound of filling there that will fit easily inside of that cutter. Right, now we're going to just place these about 2 inches apart on the pasta. Now you can actually place them a little bit closer once you get experience, but to start I would place them about 2 inches apart and make the mounds all about the same size. Try to keep them bunched together without any stray pieces. Now I have some pasta down the end here which you can't see on the camera, and I don't want to adjust the camera right now. So I'm going to put some more filling down there and use up that part of the pasta. Also put some down this end. Now I have just a tiny amount of filling left, so I'm just going to add a tiny bit to some of these mounds. Okay, now I'm going to brush both sheets of pasta. Now the one that I'm brushing is only partly on camera, but I'm brushing it lightly with water, okay? Now I don't want to soak it, so you want to dip your brush into the water just a little bit and brush. Now you have to do this fairly quickly. Now I'm brushing the piece of pasta that has the mounds of filling on it, and I'm going to brush around each one of these mounds. Now it's important to do this fairly quickly because the pasta dries out. It's important to do this fairly quickly because the pasta can dry. It's also, if you are in a low humidity situation like I am, it's even more important that you do it fairly quickly. And try not to mess up your mounds while you're doing it. I find that I can actually help to push the mounds together a little bit by using my brush. Okay. Oops. Although that one I didn't. Okay, now we want to take our other sheet of pasta and lift it carefully onto the first sheet. Now, the pasta is fairly pliable, so you can move it around to some extent. You can stretch it a little bit so you can get the mounds covered, but try not to fold your pasta over onto itself. Then what you want to do is press your fingers gently around each mound. Pressing the top part of the pasta, top piece of pasta onto the bottom piece of pasta. They should stick together easily if they're moist. If they are floured, they won't stick together. While you're doing this, you can also press your mounds together a little bit. Get your filling centered in the little hill that you're making in this pasta. Okay, now we want to take our pasta cutter and start cutting the pasta. So you just place it down over the mound. Try not to place it, if there's any stray filling that's not in the, if there's any stray filling that is not in the middle of the mound, try not to bring your cutter down on top of those stray pieces. All right, now we're going to cut these pieces, carefully lift them off and put them onto the sheet pan, which we have here that has been dusted with cornmeal. You could also dust it with flour, but I'm using cornmeal. We're just going to cut each one of these and put them on the tray. Now, if you get one where the top and the bottom are not completely closed, just use your fingers and squeeze it closed. Okay, our water is boiling. Now we're going to cook the raviolis. Now these are made with homemade pasta, okay, so they're not going to take long. About 2 minutes. 1.5 to 2 minutes. Okay, it's been just about 2 minutes. We're going to take them out of the water. Okay, we've cooked our ravioli. Now we're going to plate them up. I'm only going to plate 3 for the camera. So we're going to put a little bit of sauce into the bottom of your bowl. Okay, a wide shallow bowl makes a nice presentation. And you have to take a look at how much sauce you have and, you know, divide it up evenly among your guests. Then we're going to add the raviolis. I'm going to add just a little bit more sauce around them there. Then I'm going to add some parmesan. And some cracked black pepper. If I can get the peppermill to work. There we go. And then a little bit of parsley. There we go. So there we have it. Beef short ribs ravioli a la Michel. You can see photos of the final dish at my Instagram, which is @Chef's Apprentice, Cook Like a Pro. Please remember to subscribe to my channel, and thanks for watching.